A few moments with you on the pew, pew, pew.
What's the word? I'm Ver.
And I'm Matthew.
And we're here with
Cormac.
So Cormac, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a freshman here at Dayton, electrical engineering major, and I don't know, I like God. God's pretty cool.
And where are you from?
I'm from Newark, Ohio. Pretty cool little town. Not really, but.
And how do we know Cormac?
How do we know Cormac? I don't know. I don't think there was one moment where Cormac just,
Yeah.
it's a mutual friend.
Yeah. I know through retreats and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And just general Catholic life stuff. Cormac is on my flag football team,
Sir.
Sons of Thunder. So
Sons of Thunder.
look out. Spina endorsed us, so we're coming for that chip.
Sir.
We got some hot seat questions for you. So I'm gonna just put you on the hot seat real quick. All right. Second favorite letter of the alphabet.
Second favorite? I don't know, T.
Ooh, okay. Peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter and honey?
I've never had a PBH, but I want to, but PB&J all the way.
Classic. All right. Favorite school subject?
Favorite school subject? I'm an engineer, so probably something math.
Do you have a particular math that you like more than others, or just
Not really. When I can figure out the problem, I like it. When I can't figure out the problem, I don't like it.
Hail, an L or a W?
What is it?
Hail,
Hail?
outside. Yeah, when it hails.
An L.
L.
Yeah.
Favorite saint?
Favorite saint? Probably Saint Joseph.
Which Saint Joseph? The father of Jesus, or
Yeah, like Mary's betrothed.
Yeah. All right, so you made mac and cheese, and you got to put one of these two things in it. You got to either put peas in it or sliced up hot dogs. Which one are you going with?
Peas or sliced up? I'm gonna go with the peas.
The peas, the mac and peas.
Mac and peas.
Classic. And your favorite book of the Bible?
Favorite book of the Bible? 1 Corinthians.
Fire. Little letter action going on. So
Perfect.
we'll move on to the
You're
questions.
You're free to leave the hot seat.
Yeah.
Welcome to the actual pew. It's cool down
Alright.
here.
Yeah.
We'll open it up by asking you the first question. So you're here today, kind of an overview from what you provided us is talking about trust in God. And so our first question for you is what do you think perfect trust in God looks like?
Yeah, I mean, I want to start by saying I have no idea, but also I think it's kind of just giving up, giving yourself to God in a way. You kind of just give up your desire, you give your desires, your heart to Him, and have Him mold it in the way of that is His will. I think that's probably a step in that, what perfect trust looks like. And I'm sure you can look at stuff biblical figures, obviously Abraham, when God told him to sacrifice Isaac, and then Jesus, he's a pretty good example to look to in scripture usually. So
Awesome. Would you say that definition that you provided, is that something that's changed over time, or it's been pretty steady, that's what I think trust looks like?
I don't know. I think I was in Bible study. It was we were talking about Jacob and then his son Joseph, and Jacob was kind of this planner, schemer kind of deal, and it highlighted Joseph just kind of trusts God, goes with the flow, and it kind of made me think what does perfect trust look like? Because I have plans. Does that mean I'm not trusting God, or how does that discernment look? But I think if you're just discerning it with God, taking it to the Lord, I think it's fine. It's not a scheme really.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and has trusting the Lord been something recently in your life that's become more important, less important? How have you been managing your trust and relationship with the Lord?
Yeah, I've kind of I would say this year is the first time in my life where God's been kind of at the center, and I've just been really focused on the idea of trusting God from pretty much the start of 2024, and just Because I'm like a plan person. Like I like to like think too far in the future, pretty much. So when inevitably like something doesn't go the way I saw it, like I just like start tripping out, and it's just like not fun. Um, so like an example of that would be like I like worked real hard going into senior year football season, and like the last scrimmage before I broke my leg and didn't have a season, so I was like that was one of the trying times. That's like a big example. There's also like little things, but like yeah, I just needed to like really dial in on like being better at trusting God and just like kind of give myself to Him.
Yeah, awesome, thank you. And what would you say are like some ways that people can go about like improving this trust in God? Because I think like if you ask a lot of people about their faith story, like trust is something that definitely develops, and it's not something that you can just kind of like. You might say that you have trust from the start, but I feel like the actual like feeling of trust definitely develops. So like, what are some ways you think people can improve their trust in God?
Yeah, I think like kind of something I've been doing is like just taking things to prayer. Um, cause like the way I've always like, or not always, but like what I've like kind of been thinking about is like God like knows everything about like how I'm feeling about certain things, and just like God knows it all, but like He still wants to hear it from me. He still wants to hear me like talk to it. So, um, just kind of like have that conversation, and just like I'll just kind of tell God where I'm at, and then just like teach me to trust you, Lord, stuff like that. Um, I was put on to the litany of trust, and it's fire. I've been praying that during Lent, and then also like if I like kind of spontaneously like catch myself starting to like trip out over certain thoughts, I'll just like pray a little Hail Mary in my head just to like keep locked in. So I think like prayer is a big thing. There's also like, however, I guess that works for like you. I don't know how like other people think of it, but like just kind of like giving yourself to God, and just like letting your heart, like letting the will of your heart, like become what the Lord's will is, and like turning it into that. Um, but yeah.
Yeah. So you've kind of talked about like the progression of your faith a little bit, and like how like it's a developing process, and how like where were you like in your like faith journey when like you broke your leg in football? Like if you feel willing to like share more about like that experience, and like did that shape your faith at all? Like were you like lost at the beginning? Was like how was that experience for you? Like not only physically but also like spiritually.
Yeah, so the year before I like kind of started driving myself to mass. That was my junior year. And I started to like kind of start to get involved and start loving God. Um and then kind of like it was kind of like there, like he was kind of in the background, like I was like doing good things, like I was still like being disciplined, I would say. Um yeah, I would say my relationship with God was like pretty good. I was like praying in the morning, praying rosary in the morning, like reading scripture. And then I broke my leg, and like I don't think it was instant, but like I kind of like started to like fade out some of that discipline. I still like would go to mass, or I guess get driven to mass now. But I'll still go to mass, but like there was a part of me that was like pretty mad at God, and like couldn't really understand why this had happened to me, because like um I had like I had poured my heart and soul into this football off season, and it just wasn't meant to be. But um, so yeah, I was like pretty mad at God, but I think like the growth in that, like seeing the good in that, kind of helped. And it's like, sure, it was a crappy thing to happen, but like I think it made me a lot like mentally tougher. It's where like nothing, like things can't like get to me as much, because it's been like, okay, well, I saw my foot hanging off my leg, all dislocated. So
Thanks.
yeah.
Awesome, yeah, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think like one thing from your, and I know we've talked about this a little bit, like me and you, but one thing from your story and like from what you've shared today that stuck out to me is like the idea of just like the litany of trust as well. I try to like base my like years or like periods of my life around like a certain theme, and kind of structure my life around that. And last semester it was trust. And I do find like the litany of trust, a lot of prayers sometimes it's just like I feel like with the litany of trust you can like really pray with each line, and you could like spend so much time with it and not even like capture like everything that you can even possibly think of or say with that. So I think that's like definitely like probably one of my top 3 prayers. So I'm with you on that one. But yeah, I really enjoyed hearing what you had to say and how that fit into your story.
Yeah, love the litany of trust. It's really good.
I think we'll wrap it up with that.
Yeah.
So obviously check out the Litany of Trust because, got a lot of cosigns here for it today. Monday nights, Cormac's back on the football field, Sons of Thunder, so like pull it to the games. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.
Awesome.
Pew, pew,
See you
pew, pew,
next
pew,
time.
pew, pew.